Have you ever noticed how we make decisions every day? Imagine you're about to leave the house. If it's raining, you take an umbrella. If it's sunny, you might grab sunglasses instead. This kind of decision-making is something we can teach computers too, using programming. In Python, we use special words called conditional statements to help our programs make choices. Think of these statements like road signs for your code. They guide the program to take different paths based on whether certain conditions are true or false. Just like deciding on the umbrella or sunglasses, Python can run different parts of our code depending on the situation. These decisions are a fundamental part of programming, allowing our code to be dynamic and responsive. Stay tuned to learn how to use if, else, and elif statements to make your Python programs smarter. The if statement is like a gatekeeper in your Python code. It checks if a certain condition is true. If the condition is true, the code inside the if statement gets executed. Let's see how it works. Python weather =rainy. If weather =rainy, print, remember to take your umbrella. In this example, we first set the variable to rainy. The if statement then checks if the value of is equal to rainy. The symbol is used for comparison, not a single. Since the condition is true, the code inside the if block is executed, and we see the message about the umbrella. Notice the indentation after the if statement? In Python, indentation is crucial. It tells the interpreter which lines of code belong to the if statement. Any code indented after the colon is considered part of the if block, and will only be executed if the condition is met. The else clause acts like a backup plan in your if statement. It comes after the if block and executes only if the if condition is false. Let's expand our previous example. Python weather =sunny if weather =rainy, else this time r is sunny. The if statement's condition is false, so the code inside the if block is skipped. Instead, the code inside the else block is executed, printing a message about enjoying the sunshine. With if and else, your code can now handle two different possibilities. It's like having a plan A and a plan B, ensuring that your program knows what to do in different situations. Sometimes you need to check for more than two possibilities. That's where elif comes in handy. Elif stands for else if and lets you check multiple conditions one after another. Python weather =cloudy, if weather =rainy, elif weather =cloudy, else. In this example, we have an elif statement to check for cloudy weather. If the weather is cloudy, the message about the jacket is printed. If none of the preceding conditions, if or elif, are true, the code inside the else block is executed. You can have multiple elif blocks to check for various conditions. Python will go through them in order, and only the code inside the first true condition will be executed. Section 5, combining conditions with and, or, and not. Alright, let's get a bit more complex. Python thankfully allows us to combine conditions using logical operators like and, or, and not. So let's break them down. First, and both conditions must be true for the entire statement to be true. For example, checks if someone is over 18 and holds a driver's license. Next we have, or at least one of the conditions must be true. For example, checks if it's either a weekend or a holiday. And finally, not. This operator reverses the truth value of a condition. For example, would be true if it's not raining. These operators honestly give you so much flexibility in defining complex conditions within your if, elif, and else statements. They allow you to create more nuanced decision-making in your code, which is pretty powerful. Section 6. Building a mini-project movie rating classifier. Alright, let's put our knowledge into practice with a fun little mini-project. Here's the idea. We'll create a program that suggests movie ratings based on a user's age. Sounds pretty cool, right? So, here's how it works. First, we take the user's age as input. Then we use if and elif statements to check the age and suggest appropriate movie ratings. Let me show you an example. Python age =int, input, enter your age. If age, 13, print, we recommend movies rated G or PG. Elif age, =13 and age, 17, print, you can watch PG-13 movies. Else print, you are eligible to watch R-rated movies but choose wisely. This little program essentially starts by asking the user to enter their age. Depending on the input, it checks the conditions and, well, prints out the suitable movie rating. This simple project is a great demonstration of how conditional statements can be used to create interactive and helpful programs. Give it a try and see how it works for you. Section 7. Avoiding common traps. Indentation and comparison operators. So, even experienced programmers, believe it or not, make mistakes from time to time. Let's talk about a few common pitfalls you should watch out for when working with conditional statements. First, indentation errors. Python relies heavily on indentation to understand the structure of your code. If your indentation is off, you might end up with unexpected errors, so always double-check that. Next, confusing the single equal sign and the double equal sign. Remember, a single equal sign is used for assignment, while a double equal sign is used for comparison. It's a small difference, but using the wrong one can lead to some tricky logic errors. And finally, forgetting colons. It's easy to overlook, but you must include colons after your if, elif, and else statements. They're absolutely crucial for defining your code blocks. By paying attention to these details and keeping your code clean and well indented, you'll avoid these common traps and ensure your Python programs run smoothly. Trust me, it's worth the effort. Section 8. Your coding challenge. Positive, negative, or zero. Alright, now it's your turn to shine. Here's a little challenge for you to apply everything you've learned so far. Your task is to write a Python program that does the following. 1. Asks the user to enter a number. 2. Determines if the number is positive, negative, or zero. And 3. Prints an appropriate message to the user. Remember to use if, elif, and else statements to handle the logic. Oh, and don't forget about proper indentation and using the correct comparison operators. Those details really matter. Good luck with this challenge. It's a great opportunity to solidify your understanding of conditional statements. I know you can do it. Section 9. Keep practicing and building. Congratulations, you've made it through learning about Python's conditional statements. That's a big deal, so take a moment to appreciate how far you've come. Now, you've added a really powerful tool to your programming toolkit. The best way to get even better is to keep practicing. Create your own programs, try new ideas, and explore different ways to use if, else, and elif statements. The more you experiment, the more confident you'll become, so keep building, keep learning, and most importantly, have fun with it. You're on your way to becoming a skilled Python programmer. Keep up the